Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Elizabeth Palmer. She joins us now from London on the phone. Liz, what can you tell us? Where are you right now? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Oh, you're joining us live. Sorry.
I'm standing about 800 yards along from Westminster Bridge. Behind me, over my left shoulder, you should be able to see the British Houses of Parliament. And the whole incident happened on the far side of that. On the far side of Parliament is where the bridge crosses the Thames off to my left. And it's always hugely busy with throngs of tourists who come to take pictures of the Parliament, of course, and the bridge and the and so on. It's kind of the heart of tourist London. And so the bridge would have been very crowded. It always is. It does appear that the vehicle drove into a crowd, injuring these people, coming this way toward this side of the river, and then crashed into the fence outside Parliament. Not yet clear yet whether it was the driver of the vehicle who then rushed into Parliament and stabbed the policeman, or whether there were two assailants. We're getting conflicting word on that. The police have said one and two, so I think we'll have to wait. It's still very chaotic. What we do know, though, is that the man with the knife who stopped the policeman was himself shot, and also that there were people who were hit by the vehicle and were very bad. Not clear how many yet, but as we heard a few minutes ago, a doctor at one of the hospitals has said that one woman is dead.
Elizabeth, you know, Vlad was talking earlier about just what security has been like in a number of cities throughout Europe. I know you've covered a lot of these terrorist attacks. Well, we don't know if this is a terrorist attack, but you've covered a lot of these attacks in different cities. And certainly in Paris, it's something that I noticed as well, Vlad. You are very aware that there is a heightened state of security there. You see men dressed in military garb at shopping centers, any place where there might be a large crowd of people. It seems like that's not the case in London, though, and I know London has an extensive camera system, but the idea that the officer who may have come in contact with this assailant was not armed, I think, would be surprising to a lot of people.
Well, Paris is an exception, I think. Paris has a particular, is being particularly targeted by terrorists, and they have beefed up their armed, visible armed security since the Paris attacks a couple of years ago. London has always had a police force that is largely unarmed, and they're very proud of that. However, in the last year and a half, there have been more armed response units, more armed officers, quite visible here and there, train stations, sometimes airports certainly, and so on. But you don't see a big, heavy armed presence here, and the British approach has always been intelligence-led. They have felt that they can anticipate and thwart terrorist attacks before they happen by having absolutely crackerjack intelligence. And in fact, there was some proof that it's working when a man who was charged was on trial for sending money to the Paris attackers here in Britain, said to the court, well, we thought of attacking Britain, but we decided not to because the intelligence is just too good. That seemed to vindicate this approach. We don't know what's happened here yet or who this guy is. It's certainly whoever it was either crazy or prepared to die for a cause, because this has to be one of the most heavily guarded places in London. And so whoever it was knew that the minute he attacked a policeman or people, he was going to be brought down one way or another by the massive security around the British Parliament.
Elizabeth, give us a sense as well with regards to London. I mean, we talked about the fact that police officers and the Metropolitan Police is very proud of the fact that they do not carry firearms. But I'm wondering now, given that they drill for such a situation on an almost daily basis, given that they are at a heightened state of awareness and alert for terrorist attacks, and it may not be as visible as, for example, as you may see in Paris, what are some of the things that they've been doing, and what will they do going forward? In other words, we know that generally politicians and the police in general want to calm people down in moments after a terrorist attack. How soon will they let people know that it is safe to venture out into the tube stations and into some of the other areas around town?
Hard to know, and I think it gets back to what I was saying earlier. Was there one attacker or two? And is it possible that there is a second one on the loose? We don't know that yet. The whole question of a very heavily armed police force is a kind of a constant hot topic here, but there is huge resistance to increasing the number of armed officers, both inside the force and among the public. That being said, about 3 months ago, the British police did survey its own police members to say, would you like to have more armed response units? Would you like more of you to carry weapons? And the response was not terribly enthusiastic. It's a cultural thing as much as anything, and I suppose if it turns out there was a failure of intelligence in this instance, maybe that'll give some push to the move toward more armed officers.
All right, Liz Palmer reporting for us in London. Elizabeth, thank you so much. We appreciate it.